Hey everybody, Mr. Barry here. Um, so today what we're going to do is a little activity on Microsoft Excel and on budgets. And so I kind of created this budget template here that I'll share with you, so you can use it. I like to use Excel for this. You can use uh, what is it? Google Sheets is very similar, a lot of the same functionality here. And so I kind of created this, kind of just thinking, what would a maybe a college student budget kind of look like here. I did put up here. You can feel free to add more rows or other expenses, or you can always remove stuff if you're not using it. Everyone's budget is kind of different, so you always got to adjust it. So let's say this is a student and they have a part-time job, and let's say they're making something like $1,400 a month from their paycheck, and their parents are also helping them out with about $200 a month. So those are their incomes there every month. And so you can see here I put January. So then we have our expenses here. A lot of people separate their expenses into two different categories: fixed and variable. Some people put those together, and that's fine too. Um, so here we go. Tuition. So tuition is a little complicated because you don't pay this usually every month, but I would do like kind of a monthly average. So if your tuition was $1,200 a year, obviously that would be $100 a month. So let's say that their tuition is $200 a month. I'm going to put negative 200 here. And the books, let's say they're getting them used at $30 a month. Rent, let's say they have to pay $500 a month in rent. And utilities, let's say that's going to be 80. So utilities, it's like your electric bill and your cable bill and all that stuff. Cell phone, let's say it's $40 a month. And then gym, let's say, is $40 a month as well. I'm kind of, like I said, just making these up. Obviously, it's going to be different for everybody. Um, and you'll also see that I put those as negatives there, and I'll show you why we're going to do that in a second here. So then we got variable expenses, and so let's say for an estimate here, this person's spending $200 a month at restaurants, and then for entertainment, it's like the movies and stuff, $80, and then for clothing, um, they're spending $150 a month. Okay, so now we're going to go down here to the savings, and this is going to kind of be the total of all this. And so this is going to be a formula for us. So this one's a little tricky. Just pay close attention. Anytime we do a formula, we're always going to start with the equal sign. Um, and so I'm going to do equals, and I'm going to do sum. And so sum is obviously adding everything up. And that's why it was so important for me to do those expenses as negatives, because they're going to actually subtract from the income. And so I'm going to put equals sum. I see I open up a parentheses, and then I'm going to click on the top. Click on the top of this column here of all the numbers I want to add up. And so you can see it says D4. You can also type in D4 there if you'd like. And then I'm going to go down to the bottom. This one, you're not going to be able to see me holding shift, but very important here, you hold shift and then you click on the bottom one. And so you can see that now it says D18. It has a colon in between there, meaning we want to do the sum of all the cells in between D4 and D18. So I'm going to close that parentheses and hit enter. And you can see that it adds everything up there. And so it's saying here that my savings are $280. So every month I'm going to have an excess of $280. And so that's great. What's also nice about this is that now that I have the formula here, if I do adjust anything, so if I go up here and if I deleted my parents, so they didn't give me any money this month, we got an argument or whatever, and then press enter, you can see that automatically adjusts the savings to 80. I'm going to go ahead and put it back there though. And so a couple other things that is cool about this, you can also, let's say we decide we're not saving enough, we can always adjust stuff. And so it's kind of why they call these ones fixed expenses. Sometimes it's hard to fix or to change the fixed expenses because you can't change what your rent is, you can't change what your utility is. Gym is kind of a weird one because you don't need to have a gym membership, right? Like you could go running around the block and do some push-ups in your living room and save that money. And so it's like it is a fixed expense if you have it, but you don't obviously have to have it. And so if I did want to save some money here, I could just delete that, get rid of it. Um, And then I could also adjust it. So let's say my goal this month was to go to the restaurants less, and so I'm gonna say I'm gonna do $160 in expenses for restaurants instead of the 200. So you can see that with a few adjustments here, I've already increased my savings up to 360. Okay, next up, I want to talk about this kind of distinguisher here, the planned versus actual. So planned, I kind of always do this at the beginning of the month, plan a budget. And I'll tell you right now that the actual budget is never the same. It never matches up. So the reason why that is just kind of always things come up. And I don't think the actual goal of the budget is to make it perfect. It's just to kind of have a goal and to kind of keep track of your expenses. And so, how do you find the actual? Well, there's a couple different ways to do it. So you could just look at your credit card statements and your kind of bank statements and categorize all your stuff, all of your expenses. I kind of have a website that I'd like to recommend here that does that for you. So the website here is called Mint, and so I have kind of here all of what Mint does is Mint looks at all of your transactions. You link your It has a special link for your credit card and bank account where it's allowed to view the transactions but not create any transactions. It's super safe. You can look into it. There's a lot of independent kind of websites that rate these things, and they say Mint is really safe. I haven't had any issues with fraud or anything like that. And it actually helps you with fraud because it allows you to see all of your charges here and as they come into your accounts. And allows you to categorize them. So you can see I have here Target was groceries, my Metro PCS, my phone bill, my cell phone bill for my wife and I have my mortgage and rent here. And I have, this is my son's daycare. And so these are kind of all my transactions from January here. This is my, my trash bill. And then you can see also got some ramen back here. And so, yeah, we kind of, and if something is ever coming in the wrong category, you can always recategorize it. So let's say this Target, oh, that wasn't actually groceries. That was actually, let's say it was furnishing. So I bought like a lamp or something. You can switch it there. I know this one was actually groceries, so I'm going to switch it back, but there you go. Now, what that allows you to do is that you can go to the budgets tab here and go to January, and you can see what happened. And so for my, that one's for that was for May. Okay, yeah, let's go back to January here. May is, or this was not a complete month, so I wanted to go to a complete month here. And so you can see, for example, my gas and fuel is this January? Yep, in January it was a lot less than I had expected. And that's okay. If this happens kind of month after month, I can always adjust that and say, okay, maybe I need to lower my expectations there. And so the same with groceries is I was a little bit under. Restaurants, I was a little bit under. I call this child support. That's actually my son's daycare. So I was a little bit under that month as well. Clothing, again, a little bit under. So one thing I want to talk about here is furnishings. So I remember in this month, our water heater broke, and so we had to buy a new water heater. So obviously that's really expensive, and so I put that in the furnishings. And so obviously I'm way over on my furnishings budget for that month. Nothing I can do about that, right? My water heater broke down. I wasn't really planning on it, so that's what I'm saying about it's never going to be absolutely perfect. It's just kind of the best estimate that you can get. So that's one way to do it. There's a lot of other ways, and a lot of other actually websites, and actually your credit card bill or your credit card company can actually do this for you as well. They can categorize your stuff. This one's nice because it links your bank account and your credit card account. Okay, so let's go back here. So if you actually had that, you could fill that in. And so then what I like about this is that now we have this done for January. I can click and highlight this whole area. I can copy paste it right here, and I can go down here and paste it. I already said that. And now what I can do is just switch this to February. Excuse me, switch that to February. So now that I'm switched to February, I'm kind of starting the new month. And this is where you can kind of start making your adjustments. So you can say, okay, Well, I knew last month I tried to cut back on restaurants, but I wasn't really able to. So I'm going to put that back up to 200. I'm doing good not having the gym here. Um, so that's nice. And I got a lot of, actually, I'm going to say this is my birthday month this month. So I'm not going to have to buy any as much clothes because I'm going to get some gifts. So I'm going to knock that down to 50. And then also, I'm going to insert. So, oops, I did that too quick. So also, I'm going to get some. Let's say I'm going to get a gift from my grandparents. So I'm going to right click on this row. I'm going to insert here, and then I can insert a new one that says grandparents. Get a gift here, and let's say they gave me $150, so I can insert that, and you can see my savings just gets updated along the way. So then when I went to my next month, I could go ahead and go back in and take that out because my grandparents aren't going to give me $150 every month. That was just um, for my birthday. So that's a really kind of simple way you can make a budget, make a plan. Like I said, it's not expected to be absolutely accurate every time. It's just this the actual is, but the planned kind of never going to be perfect. But it's a good idea just to kind of have an idea of where your money's going and what you're spending it on, and then making adjustments accordingly. So that's my pitch there to make a budget, and I recommend using Excel.